You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Sabres Zone.
Hi, good evening everybody. Welcome to the Sabres Zone, the video on the channel, if you're new here, that discusses what one of you had to say. I'm overdue for some videos, guys. I got time. Let's get on it. Okay, we will start the night off with the clip. And here is the shutout. Here we go. And everybody's favorite son, Charlie, is the man of the hour tonight. Charlie says, Wayne, can you do a video and explain what you think, if you think ice time matters? Does it matter if fourth liners play more than the stars? Gretzky won 4 cups playing 27 minutes a game. Should the Oilers have played him only 15 minutes and let the fourth line guys have a chance to play? What I'm asking is, can you score from the bench? And why does McDavid, Matthews, Marner, Stars get 20 minutes while our skilled forwards play so little? This is a good point. Charlie brings up a good point, folks. He does. Because, Charlie, you know, I told you I'd do a video on this, and it's a Sabres Zone. Why I think this is a good point and why it's a valid point is because, yes, we are doing it, but I want to say something, Charlie, and keep it in mind. It's the era we're in for most teams. You know, like you're saying, some of the major stars get all this ice time, right? They do. I put down some footnotes here, okay? And I want to throw this out there. Now, people will say, well, how can we know what Gretzky's ice time was? The truth is, folks, 97-98 was the first time the NHL logged ice time publicly. And really didn't come public to the next year. But look, bear with me, I'll explain it in a sec. So 1982, Charlie, let's talk about Gretzky in his prime. This is his prime era, basically. 18 skaters instead of 17. So 3 lines and 2 reserves. I put 2 top players got more. The top players got more minutes back in the day. Bear with me, though. I want to defend Charlie's point, though. So bear with me. Number 2, I put not till 1997-98 did they keep track of ice time. Okay. And number 3, not one forward on our 2000. This to me is the most important stat here, guys. Not one forward on the 2006 or 2000 Sabres had got 20 minutes in those 2 years. Not one forward averaged 20 minutes of ice time. So Charlie, take that one into consideration, okay? The 06-07 Sabres, not one forward had 20 minutes of ice time average. But what Charlie's talking about, when he talks about Gretzky having the 27 minutes back in the day, yes, that is accurate, because the truth is, folks, the Globe and Mail used to, I used to keep track of ice time minutes, and there was a way, believe it or not, long before it became public in the late 90s and the early 80s, you could still, the truth is, you could, all my life, you could find ice time if you really dug into it. But back then, folks, I had to buy a newspaper, you know, it was different. And I believe, and Charlie, correct me if you know this, I believe it was, I'm guessing that was Conn Smythe that started it. That's just off the top of my head. I could be wrong. It might have been long before him, but I kind of have the belief Conn Smythe started that with Toronto. And he was a believer of keeping track of ice time once upon a time. And you know what? It obviously came out, and now we all check ice time, right? But when Charlie's talking about, and Charlie, I'm sure I'm saying this right, you're talking about Gretzky in his heyday as an Oiler. Yeah, Gretzky was playing minutes like that, absolutely. And not just because, guys, okay, the one added skater, because back then, people say, yeah, but didn't they throw 4 lines back then? It depends, okay? It depends on the coach. Like the Habs were known to be, from what I recall, the first team in history to do it. Back in the 50s, before I was born. The Habs told Blake they were throwing 4 lines out there, and people were like, they were kind of getting criticized, actually. And but then you got to think of it. You got 12 forwards, you got 5 blue liners to deal with at the time, because they had 17 skaters, not 18. So, and it might have even been less. They might have had to go with 4 defensemen. I'm not even sure about the 17 rule. It might have been 16 guys. I'd have to check that. I don't recall. But I can tell you that they for a long time, Tikhonov, the Russian coach, Tikhonov, who coached, yes, he was the coach of the Miracle on Ice team that beat his big Red Army team. Yes, Viktor Tikhonov took all the credit for the 4-line swing. Now, you can debate it all you want. 4 lines didn't really come into play full-time in the NHL till the 80s, really. And once it started, it kind of hung around, and everybody does it now. Everybody keeps track of ice time now. But the point Charlie's making here, guys, is do we do it? Do we change it? Well, we got to give the top guys the most time. I'm a big believer in that. And yes, I was saying it, I don't know what video it was. I was talking about we've got to give our top guys the top time, even if they're playing like crap, guys. Okay, this is what I believe. This is, as a fan, what I believe. We got to give them time to play out of the funk that they were in. We got to give them time. I'll see if I can find the last ice time, because I didn't even check last game, the ice time. But guys, this is kind of just what I believe. When you're going to play with ice time, your top guys are making the top dollar should get the top minutes on the ice. You know, you're paying these guys top money to not play the same amount of time guys that are making $2 million play. You know what I mean? So you don't want to do that either. I'll see if I can find that box score. I don't even know if it's available. Yes, it is. Hold on, guys. I didn't check the ice time for that game because I was just so damn happy they won. Okay, let's go to the Sabres, and we'll take a quick look here. Middlestat led the team in ice time. I don't think any of us can complain about that. Not even you, Charlie. Really, Middlestat's playing excellent. Don't pretend he's not. He is. He's playing really good. Then Skinner, 17 minutes. Tuck, 17 minutes and change, okay? I'm not going to go with the seconds here. Then you got Okposo, Greenway, Girgensons coming in with the 16s. Then Tage Thompson, 14:55. And Tage scored 2 goals. Yes, I know one was an empty netter. But, you know, Dylan Cousins, 14:42. You know, Krebs, I understand at 12 minutes. Olofsson at 11 minutes and 40 seconds. I understand that too. Zach Benson at 10 minutes. I kind of understand that. Peterka at 8:42. I don't understand. And yeah, I know that's Charlie's favorite player, and I'm not doing that because it's his favorite player. I don't understand why Peterka gets 8 minutes, 42 seconds, unless he got hurt in the game, and I just don't know about it yet. It just went over my head. I was so mad at that game that, you know, with all the fights and everything. But should we be giving these guys out? Should guys like Cousins, the guy's making, let's face it, guys, the guy's making the money. Should, you know, oh, let me go over to Blue Liners. Let's just check what, I'm sure Darlene had a ton, because I remember he had a ton. And it's not as much as I thought, you see. It seemed to me like 26 minutes, 21. Samuelson had 22. Owen Power, 19. Clifton, 19. Johnson, 18. Yokiharu, 17. Yokiharu played pretty good in this game overall. I know he looked bad in the third, but he played pretty good overall. Look, the Blue Liners, I don't got a complaint in this game, let's say, with that. I question Peterka, Cousins, Thompson. I would have had these guys at least playing 5 more shifts in the game. And yeah, I get it, though. They had Middlestat playing, you know, he was playing with Skinner. I mean, they're connecting. So you can flip it, I guess, that, okay, but if Middlestat's, you know, getting kind of promoted for now, you can flip it that way. But I would still have the guys making the big bucks with the big ice time, because they're the guys that should be doing the numbers. We can't keep falling, you know, we can't keep falling on our role players and guys like Okposo. We can't keep falling on those guys expecting them to help us win games out. No, they're there for, you know, whether it be mentorship and physical play with or Girgensons. And Girgensons still has his legs, you know. It's not like he's not old by any stretch yet. But I think we do have to, we got to establish the ice time. And I've been saying this for a while now. We got to take the top line and you got to put their block of time, frozen in time, win or lose. You've got to start establishing that, because then it creates a boundary of consistency in that dressing room too. And not everybody's saying, well, maybe I'll get some first line time tonight. Maybe it's my turn, and because I just had a good game. And you don't want those thoughts going through their head. Establish it. Mix it up during the game. I'm good with that. I am. But you can't mix up the ice time to the point where it's confusing. And I think this has been what's going on with our team, guys, is it's a little bit of confusion out there when it comes to who's got what ice time and who's playing with who. And, and I get, we're trying to get this team going, and sometimes you do got to mix it up. And I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. But then the ice time, I believe, on the first line, even if you're going to put somebody like Middlestat on there, then that team those guys get priority in that game, where they're like this, the second line is like this, third line's like this, and the fourth line's like this. Really. That's just how I'd do it, how I'd run things. So I hope that explains a bit, Charlie. This is kind of where I'm at with it. I do want to say we never had a guy like Wayne Gretzky, Charlie. So I know he got 27 minutes. You got to keep in mind, Gretzky wasn't just the greatest forward I've ever seen. I won't say hockey player, but the greatest forward I've ever seen. And he absolutely had stamina. Like, if you read his book, you'd see that like the coach would look at him and not understand like how this guy just came off a shift. Like, we're talking a 2-minute shift, because the guys would run 2.5-minute shifts back in the day. He'd come off a shift like that, wheezing. 30 seconds later, he's good to go. Just like that. That was Gretzky. Gretzky was a freak of nature also. So, do wanted to say one thing, though. I did check this out for you, Charlie, because I found this interesting. Gretzky's 1997, and we only have the last 2 years of his career ice time, okay? Now, Gretzky, at the tail end of his career, folks, when he's older and he's tired and, he wants to get out of this league healthy, he played 19 games that year with 24 or more minutes. And that was in 1997-98, okay? His top game, he had 28 minutes, 41 seconds. And this is Gretzky, folks, in his late 30s, basically. And let me just get over to the last year, and I'll tell you that one. Because it kind of blew me away when I checked. I was like, my goodness, this guy, Gretzky's last year in the league, there was one game he played 29 minutes and 22 seconds. And he, in that year, though, played 14 games with 24 or more minutes. But we're talking about Wayne Gretzky here, It was a special talent we're talking about. Okay, guys, I've dragged this one out long enough. Charlie, I hope that answers my opinion on it anyway. You're going to get a lot of variation from fans, but my opinion, I'm a believer. Solidify the ice time. There's a plateau. It should go like that. It shouldn't be like all over sporadic. But I kind of get what Granato's doing, I think. I think he's just trying to get the team's mojo going, and then maybe we will see that. This is what I'm hoping. We'll see as the season unfolds. All right, guys, done for this one. See you in the next one.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to ensure Dimension access.